Millions of people line up at midnight releases to buy Grand Theft Auto 4 for the exact same reason. They want the ultimate digital playground. For decades, this franchise has dominated pop culture by offering a chaotic, Hollywood-style sandbox where you can steal jets and outrun the police within a thick layer of over-the-top satire. But if you look past the explosive centerpieces and slow down, you find something else entirely. Hidden in the narrative margins, in the side quests and random encounters that most players speed right past, exists a complete vacuum of morality. Grand Theft Auto 5 represents the peak of the franchise's sunny, comedic facade. The game is obsessed with Los Santos's celebrity culture and vapid influencers. It conditions you to expect a joke at the end of every mission, setting up a brutal narrative rug pull. In 1975, a young starlet named Leonora Johnson was brutally murdered, her dismembered body left by the side of a local dam. To piece together what actually happened beneath the glamorous exterior of mid-century Vinewood, you have to scour the entire map for 50 scattered letter scraps. When Franklin finally tracks down the killer, a famous former director named Peter Dreyfuss, there is no punchline. Dreyfuss openly justifies the gruesome act, claiming his wealth and fame mean he is simply not bound by the petty laws of the masses. He killed her just to see if he could. The game uses its trademark humor as a Trojan horse. It gets you laughing, lowers your defenses, and then strips the comedy away. What remains in that void is a deeply disturbing reality. To understand how the series gets away with this, we have to look at the protagonists. The franchise normalizes terrifying sociopathic behavior by framing it as standard, casual gameplay. We laugh along because the mechanics reward us for it. During the mission Deconstruction in San Andreas, CJ responds to a minor insult by grabbing a heavy bulldozer and systematically leveling the entire worksite. He crushes the portable trailers while the workers are still scrambling inside them. The foreman, panicking, hides inside a porta potty. CJ uses the bulldozer to push the plastic toilet into a deep ditch, hops into a cement truck, and pours wet concrete directly over it. He buries a man alive for nothing more than some disrespectful comments. Later in the same game, CJ catches mobster Johnny Sindaco vandalizing some slot machines. Instead of shooting him, CJ straps Johnny face down to the windshield of a car and takes him on a terrifying high-speed joyride through oncoming traffic, swerving until the mobster is weeping and screaming for his life. You never actually lay a finger on Johnny during the drive, but the psychological torture is so severe that it puts him into a medically induced coma. When Johnny finally wakes up weeks later, he takes one look at CJ walking into the room and dies of a literal heart attack. Because the game maps these actions to colorful buttons and snappy dialogue, they feel like wacky protagonist antics. Analyzing the actual events reveals a terrifyingly unhinged reality of player agency. This moral decay extends far beyond the people you control. Grand Theft Auto 4's Liberty City is entirely stripped of the franchise's usual sunshine, replacing it with a cynical, gray ecosystem populated by genuinely broken people. Late at night, you can run into a pedestrian named Eddie Lowe. He talks in a high-pitched, goofy voice, asks bizarre questions about animals, and acts like a harmless eccentric. But as you listen to him, the reality sets in. Eddie is a prolific serial killer, and the heavy, leaking bag he's carrying contains the severed remains of his latest victims. The game forces you into a state of complicity. Eddie offers to pay you for a ride to the docks. As you drive, the radio broadcasts police warnings about a mysterious killer, and you realize you are actively operating as the getaway driver, helping a monster dispose of human bodies.
The world subverts the wacky NPC trope entirely. You meet Jeff, a husband who rambles obsessively about his wife cheating on him. It sounds like standard paranoid background chatter, until your third meeting. Jeff calls you to a parking garage, reveals he has stabbed his wife 50 times, and demands your help dumping her car into the river. These encounters reveal an inescapable moral decay pulsing beneath the satirical city simulation. Once you understand how diseased the world is, you start to see how the franchise weaponizes its own narrative. The writers spend dozens of hours building up narrative safety nets, like loyal mentors, strong familial bonds, and comic relief sidekicks, so they can aggressively shatter them. In San Andreas, you spend the first act of the game fighting alongside Big Smoke and trusting his mentorship. The moment you uncover the green Sabre, the car used in the drive-by that killed your mother, you realize Smoke has been working with the corrupt police and the rival gang the entire time. The franchise uses comedy to build that same false sense of security. Roman Bellic in GTA 4 is famous for constantly calling the player to go bowling. He is the ultimate annoying, goofy sidekick, functioning entirely as the game's comedic relief. But if you play the Lost and Damned expansion, you experience Roman's kidnapping from the perspective of the gang members holding him hostage. Sitting in the back of their car, Roman isn't cracking jokes. He is begging for his life. His screams are raw, pathetic, and filled with genuine terror. That terror pays off in the main game's deal ending. At Roman's own wedding, a hitman targeting Nico accidentally shoots Roman instead. Nico is left standing over the body of his cousin, only to receive a phone call hours later from his new wife, Mallory, revealing she is pregnant. Her child will grow up without a father. By executing its comedic heart, the game permanently strips away its satirical armor. There is no respawning from this. The player is forced to face a permanent, irreversible tragedy. The tragedies scattered throughout these games serve as the series' true emotional anchors. The violence you commit in a Grand Theft Auto game always demands an emotional cost. Throughout GTA 4, Nico searches for Darko Breivik, the man who sold out their military unit during the Balkan War. When Nico finally corners him on an airport runway, Darko admits he caused the massacre of Nico's childhood friends for exactly $1,000. You can choose to put 12 rounds into Darko, or you can turn your back and let him live. The game intentionally denies you any catharsis. Either way, Nico walks away feeling completely hollow. The revenge doesn't fix his trauma, it just leaves him standing on a tarmac with blood on his hands. We see this exact dynamic in Vice City Stories. Victor Vance spends the entire game building a massive criminal empire. But when the Mendez cartel kidnaps his girlfriend, Louise, all his accumulated power is useless. He shoots his way into the mansion, but arrives too late, holding Louise as she bleeds out in his arms. Even in GTA 5, a game drenched in Hollywood excess, the alternate endings force the protagonists to turn their guns on each other. If the player makes the wrong choice, you watch Michael chase his best friend Trevor into an oil spill and burn him alive. Or you watch Franklin drop Michael from a water tower to fall to his death. Grand Theft Auto's brilliance comes from the uncompromising mirror it holds up to the player. It lets you treat human life like a disposable toy for hours on end, and then, without warning, it forces you to look at the wreckage you've created, leaving you in a world where no one truly wins once the laughter stops.